In order to verify that a function is one-to-one, meaning one y value is going to give you one x value, we can use the horizontal line test. So we'll take a look at the graph of this function and verify that a horizontal line will only intersect the function one time. So graphing y equals 2 divided by parentheses 3x plus 5, then subtract 4, zoom standard, and this function looks like a hyperbola, two branches of a hyperbola. There's also an asymptote right here where the function is undefined. That actually comes from the denominator equal to 0, which would be when x is equal to -5/3. Let me double check. Trace -5/3. Sure enough, the function's undefined, it's got an asymptote there. So if I were to graph this with its asymptotes, there's a vertical asymptote at -5/3, and there's also a horizontal asymptote here, which is most likely down at -4. And then there's the two branches of the hyperbola, which get closer and closer to the asymptotes, but never actually touch. And then the idea is if you pick one y value, let's say right here some y value, and you go across to the function, is there going to be more than one x value? Well, right here, if you go down, there's going to be just one x value, so there's only one place where horizontal line crosses. There's only one place where a horizontal line crosses, so it passes the horizontal line test. And now, find f inverse. So if it's one-to-one, it does have an inverse, and now find the inverse. So the first thing to do is, rather than using f of x, I'm going to use y, just to simplify things for a little while. And then the goal of the inverse is that it does the opposite. So the regular function will take an x value, and then give you a y value as an answer. We want to do the opposite. So switch the role of the x and the y. This becomes an x, and over here, this becomes the y. And now, solve for y. So we'll need to add 4 to both sides. We can, in order to get this y in the numerator, we could cross multiply or multiply both sides by 3y plus 5. Also divide by x plus 4. Or another way to do it is look at it as two fractions and invert the two fractions. So this one becomes 1 over x plus 4, and this one becomes 3y plus 5 over 2. And to solve for y, there's 3 more steps. Eliminate the 2 by multiplying both sides by 2. Subtract 5 from both sides. So we have the fraction 2 over x plus 4. Now subtract 5 from both sides, so minus 5. And finally, to eliminate the 3, divide by 3. So I can divide all terms by 3. So put a 3 in the denominator for all of them. That eliminates the 3 on the right-hand side. And we can leave this the way that it is. You don't have to multiply it out. And there is the inverse function. And finally, call it the inverse, and we're done. There's the inverse.